Hello, we're going to take a moment and discuss a little bit about making Python happen as far as programming goes. We can do very, very simple programming. First thing I want to do is I'm going to create a folder called whatever you want to call it. I called mine Python programs to hold my Python programs. Okay, so that's handy. I just stuck it on the desktop because it was convenient. The next thing I want to do is I want to come down through here, go to all programs, and I want to run Python. Now what I did was I like using the taskbar a lot. So on Python where it says idle, I right-clicked this, and then here where it says pin to start menu, blah blah blah, I have a thing here that also said pin to taskbar. And when I clicked on that, it actually created a Python icon on the taskbar. So I can just click here, and now Python just goes ahead and runs. Okay, so I'll resize that just a little bit. Pull this up over here so it's a little smaller. I got a little more room with which to work. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in a Python command, print quote hello world, which is the typical standard beginning command in any new computer language that you're learning. So I hit enter, and it gives me a syntax error. Now the reason that it did that, and the reason that I'm showing this to you, well, the reason that I did this, or that it did this, is because of course it's buggered up in some way. But the reason that I'm showing it to you is that earlier versions of Python will accept this command line. Here it's saying invalid syntax. And what that basically is telling you is that you have typed in a character wrong somewhere in this whole process. Well, you guys don't have the slightest idea what character could possibly be wrong in this, so for many people, they'll be dead in the water. Well, let me give you a clue. Let me help you figure this critter out, okay? We have a command called print. We also have fed into that command, if you will, an argument called hello world in quotes, okay? In Python 3.3.0, they're expecting the arguments to be placed within parentheses now. So if we type in print, open parenthesis, and then quote hello world, close quote, close parentheses, and I hit enter, it now works just fine. Okay, so if you get a syntax error from doing something along these lines, just remember to go back and put in parentheses. It's very, very helpful. Okay. What if I want it to be a program, though? What if I want to save my work and I want to put a bunch of lines together and create a whole long program? Well, it's not too hard to do. It's not really obvious. That's why I'm doing the video. But if we go over here to File, and we click on New Window right there, a new Python window will open up. But now this window looks a whole lot different than the other window does. Okay? Let's go ahead and resize it so that we can have them side by side. There's my new window. We have File, Edit, and then suddenly it's no longer the same. So what I'm going to do here is point out what this window does, and that is it's basically nothing more than a program editor. Okay? So let's go ahead and put in a program. Print, quote, hello world, close quote, and now that I'm happy with my program, I want to go ahead and run it. But before I can run any program in Python, I must save it. So let's go ahead and save it first. File, save as, and I'll just call it hello and see what it does. I'll say save, and I'm just going to come down here to my folder and see what it called it. There, it called it hello.py for Python. Cool. So it has definitely saved it. Okay, now that I've done that, let's run it. Run the module. That's how we run it right there. Run the module. Invalid syntax. So it gave me another nastygram, but this time it popped it up in a window. So I'm going to pick OK to that, and that is as much as it did. That is as much as it's going to give us. Now sometimes when we have an invalid syntax, it'll put a little red block there to indicate at least where it's at. Okay. Well, we made the same mistake that we did last time, so I'm just going to go ahead and put in my parentheses because that's what it's expecting. And now it's giving me a tooltip. See, print, open parenthesis, and then all kinds of crazy stuff. Okay, and I'll go ahead and close that parenthesis and run it and see what happens. Run the module, Oh, it says I've got to save everything. So we'll pick OK to that. It saved it, and it printed hello world. Okay. Let me go ahead and hit enter again, and I'm going to type in print and see if it gives me anything else. Nope, that's it. I was just going to run a quick test on something. All right. Now in Python, sometimes people put semicolons after the statements. It's actually kind of a good habit to get into because a lot of C-based programming languages use these semicolons. So if you can get in the habit of putting semicolons after the ends of your statements, it would be a good thing. So there it is, one's first Python program.